And it's important that during this spiritual exercise, we are also minded about our health in terms of what we take, what we shouldn't take, how to even take what we should be taking, right? It's very important, so you don't want to miss out on this. And to help us delve into this conversation is Efua Desua, who runs Desua Diet Consult, and that's so many other things on the side, right? But she is a dietitian, a registered dietitian for that matter. Efua, good morning and welcome.
Thank you.
Did you see the kenke the caravanites were eating before they left? People were eating 3 balls of kenke on a Sunday morning. I hope you are well.
I'm very well by God's grace, and you?
I'm doing amazing too, thankfully, by the grace of God. It's the month of Ramadan.
Sure.
And for Catholics and other Protestants, it's also the period for Lent.
Yeah.
And a lot of them at this point stay away from food during the day. They fast. I want to very briefly, before we even talk about diabetes, which is also a big part of today's discussion, just tell us about the human benefits of fasting. Aside, of course, the spiritual. We'll leave that for our purpose and our bishops to do. But from a diet point of view and nutrition point of view, what are the benefits of fasting?
Okay, it's very beneficial. It's good to fast once in a while. It helps with detoxification. That's the period where, depending on the type of fast, okay, there are many types of fasting, okay? So when you're doing the type that we are doing now as a spiritual exercise, that type is the general one where the Christians will do 6 to 6, they will eat in the evening. The Muslims will start with something small in the morning and eat. So during the day, the body breaks down fat for energy, okay? So it helps with, you end up losing weight, okay? Makes the body also very,
Pill?
The insulin very sensitive. Okay. And so if you want to lose weight, this is a good exercise for you to do within a period. But even that, you still have to discuss with your doctor how much, whether you can do the dry fast. Even the healthy individual, you have to discuss with your doctor whether you can do a dry fast or a water fast, vegetable fast. There shouldn't be something like only fruit fast, okay? With all this, because we are reducing food intake, it makes you very, very active, and you are able to burn a lot of fats for energy. So at the end of the day, you lose weight. And it also helps you to be focused. This is the time you are meditating a lot. So as an individual, you are able to reconsider a lot of stuff in your life. Some will stop taking alcohol. That is very good, okay, as part, because of course you are fasting. So it helps once again with detoxification because we are not taking a lot of these stuff in, okay. And then my problem is with hydration, but a lot of people hydrate whilst they are fasting, okay. If you are not taking water, that is where I have issues. But if it is for a spiritual exercise, when you are not fasting within the day, then you are supposed to be able to hydrate well. Okay, so on a normal day, fasting is good to help you lose weight and reduce your calorie intake, and also a period of meditation for you. So you are able to plan well, re-strategize, and of course, change your direction or reconsider a lot of the stuff you're doing. Okay, so for me, it's a very good time for mental health, and also for physical health. Yeah.
Does it matter the time right? You talk about some Christians who do, for example, 6 to 6.
Yeah.
I've had other people say, I prefer maybe 6 to 12.
Yeah.
Some even say 12 to 6.
Yeah.
So they'll eat breakfast
Yeah.
fast for lunch and dinner or supper. Does it matter the time?
Yes, it matters, you know. Fasting in general sense is abstinence from food and water in some cases, and this is the body's main source of fuel for the body, for life. Okay, so when you are not fueling the body, you should look at your capacity. Okay, some people fast 6 to 12, especially people with peptic ulcer. Okay, if you prolong it, you have lots of irritation. Some easily feel weak. Okay, so if you are not fueling, then if you prolong it to 6 or even 3, what is the sense in being weak throughout the day because you are fasting? Your life activities are slowed down, your projects are slowed down because you are fasting. Okay, so you have to assess your own life, assess your energy level, assess your body, understand your body. Is your body able to abstain strictly from food, and what is the impact on your body? So to be able to say I am doing dry fasting, water fasting, fruit fasting, it should depend. For instance, if you're dealing with peptic ulcer, for instance, you wouldn't want to do water fast. Okay, you should have something in there. So fruit and vegetables, or even being on a keto diet at that period, it's very important. Okay, so the time or the duration is very, very important. If you're doing, if you want to do the breakfast and skip lunch and do supper, it's also another form of fasting. We call it intermittent. However, but it can also be a spiritual kind of exercise where, for instance, because of stomach issues, or you may be on medication, so you have to take your medication in the morning and evening, but afternoon you want to be on something light, or even abstain based on doctor's advice. If doctor approves that, then that can also be a kind of fasting for you.
For some people, I hear them say that fasting is even a very sure way of losing weight.
Sure.
Rather than the gym and all of those things. Is there some truth in it?
Okay, so fasting is a short period of losing weight. Okay, of course, because you are abstaining from food. But we shouldn't also forget that when you are fasting, the body is breaking down your stored fats for energy for you. So if you do it for a long time, you are increasing fat metabolism. That also leaves behind some ketones. So if you prolong it, especially when you are diabetic, then we are facing diabetes ketoacidosis, which is a very dangerous complication. Okay, so fasting is for a period. Okay, it is not supposed to be used as a way of life. Some people will say, I'm doing it for a month or 2 months because I want to lose weight. No, discuss with your doctor. And doctor will not approve that long.
That kind of long fasting for you.
Yes, because of the complications. You are at risk of some health issues when you do it for
So ideally, how long should we, a week?
So ideally, based on, for
spiritual
purposes.
Yeah, but you're assuming it's even for spiritual purposes.
Okay.
Would you advise a church leader, for example, to announce a 2-month fast?
No.
They'll say Jesus did 40 days, so we should do plus.
Okay. So if Jesus did 40 days, depending on the
kind we are not Jesus, right?
No.
And at that time, he was eating different. He didn't have a lot of fatty oils in his food there.
You see, fasting for 40 days, if you manage it well, is possible.
That
is the longest. Okay, if you manage it well, if you are managing it with good intermittent meals. But when you are doing it dry, that is where you have to consult with your doctor. That is even if you are a healthy person.
Wow.
Okay, so even as a healthy person I mean without any known underlying
illness,
okay?
Or complication.
Yes, yes, because breaking down fat for that long has its own health risk. Okay, so going for that length, you should have that discussion with your doctor before starting it. But on a normal day, if you are a healthy person, 40 days should be possible for you.
Is there any right way of breaking a fast, or would you say anything and everything goes? Can I break my fast with fufu? Can I break it with a little soda drink here? Can I break it, or should I break it with water or some yogurt? Or what's the right approach in breaking a fast?
Okay. The right approach is breaking it with a balanced meal. Okay. Of course, the stomach has been empty throughout the day. So that is not the time to break it with a heavy meal. That time, you might even feel the pain. The body will talk to you. Okay. So it should be a light diet, something light, but it shouldn't be fruit juice. It shouldn't be fruit salad. It shouldn't be porridge.
Why not fruits?
It shouldn't be... Some people, after a whole day's fast, will only eat fruits and say they have broken their fast, will not eat again. And you are giving the body only carbohydrates. Okay? So if you are breaking it well, it should be something that has a little carbs, little protein, little fat. That says you have to have these nutrients to nourish the body. So if you are doing that for 1 week, 2 weeks, 40 days, and when you break the fast, you are only breaking with water and fruit, by the end of the 40 days, you will be malnourished. Okay?
Wow.
Yes, you will be malnourished because you have denied the body enough protein. Of course, this period you will not get enough protein because you haven't eaten your breakfast, your lunch, you are only eating supper. And because you have abstained for a while, you can't even eat much. Just a little and you are okay. But that little should be dense, soft diet, either fluid or puree. Okay, I say either fluid, so if it is much kenkey you want to use to break your fast, it shouldn't be only kenkey and sugar as we do, and milk. The milk doesn't have
there should be
enough protein.
Or something in there.
There should be granules in there. There should be some egg that you are adding to it. So it shouldn't be only fruit. That when we try to fast, then we are all going to buy a lot of fruits, and that is all that we are taking. That is too much sugar for the body at the time.
Wow, this sounds very interesting, right? I feel like there are so many misconceptions around fasting.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And maybe on other shows you should keep talking on this as well. Let's come to diabetes, right?
Yes.
Is there a relationship between diabetes, and I'm referring to diabetic patients, and fasting?
Okay. So normally the misconception is because I eat, or a diabetic will eat and the food will turn into sugar, then let me stay away from food because the food will give me the elevated blood glucose levels. So
that's the spike, right? As you call it.
Yes, yes. So normally people think then abstaining from food is the right way to go. So when they have...
Is it possible to be abstain from food?
You see, sometimes when you see constant high sugar levels, you are very worried. Every morning I'm recording 10 and above 10, they get very worried. So in the course of the day, they have the perception that because the blood sugar level is high already, then I don't want to eat anything. So, but what even causes that high level? It is either if it is type 1, insufficient insulin, or if it is type 2, ineffective insulin. Okay, so what do you do to make sure your blood sugar levels come down? It is definitely not abstaining from food. Okay, but when it is a religious activity you feel mandated to do, okay, so before you go into that period of fast, you should have discussed with your doctor for the doctor to have thorough assessment, check the dosage of your medication, even check the growth of your of the disease, if it is in the advanced stage, if you are at a position to fast at all. So your doctor, you should plan this with your doctor. You shouldn't do it in isolation, okay? Because going to fast will give you some health risk of hypoglycemia.
Yeah.
When you abstain from food, your blood sugar level can go very low, and that can be dangerous. You can also have issue with hyperglycemia that will expose you to diabetic ketoacidosis, which is also a very dangerous condition for a diabetic patient. And even dehydration is also dangerous for diabetic patients.
Patients, yes.
So you are not supposed to decide to fast on your own. If you have to fast, your doctor should encourage. If he has to reduce the medication and he knows that if he reduces it and you fast for a period, it is okay, he will. If he says do not, then do not.
So
because
every decision during that phase is determined by a health officer.
Exactly.
Wow.
And even when he approves that you can fast, you will be encouraged to be checking your sugar level regularly. In the day, regularly, 2, 3, 4 times in the day, so that you can easily check whether you are going hypo or you are very up there. In both cases, you are supposed to end it immediately so that you don't go into any crisis. So you do not do it on your own. You have to work with a medical team that will be supervising a straight fasting for you. Some will also say, okay, I will do keto, where you are doing good fats with high protein and vegetables. Okay, that's though being good, because you need the energy from the starchy carbs as well, and the medications you are on, the amounts of or your dosage. You can't take that decision on your own. Some people say they are struggling with high sugar levels, so they are doing keto. That is only the high protein and fruits and vegetables.
You know, I'm reading here, right, and this author, but I don't want to put out the article because we've not verified the source, but the author is saying that the worst part of being a diabetic patient is having to manage your intake, your food intake, the ration bit, and of course issues around fasting. So clearly there's a direct correlation.
Yes, yes. So you cannot abstain from food for a longer time.
And so is it like they can't decide anything about their meal again?
No, you have to be managed, because this is a chronic health condition, okay? And if you don't manage it well, the complications are dangerous, okay?
As a diabetes survivor on the post also said that it's true. It's the worst state to be in. You don't control anything about your meal again. You don't control anything about your life. You're unsure what to eat, how to eat, and when to eat. It's the worst state to be in.
It isn't all true. I wouldn't say it is the worst state. That is why dietitians are there. When you have adequate nutrition knowledge, okay, and your dietitian has taken you through a period of postprandial glucose testing, you are empowered to know that, for instance, I like tuozafi as a northerner. But if I take this amount of tuozafi, my postprandial glucose level is like this because I have tested it severally, and that is, so you take the decision yourself. You know the quantity, okay? And even if I want to eat tuozafi, how do I have to treat the ayoyo? Do I have to eat the refined one? Okay. And even if I want to eat Hausa cocoa, as we say, if you are a diabetic, don't take the normal Hausa cocoa. If you add this and that's according to the plan of your dietitian, how did your postprandial sugar level results? Okay. But if you don't do all these, if you don't go through this period of assessments with a dietitian to understand how your body, it is very dangerous to be a diabetic without a dietitian.
Almost impossible. I mean, having listened to you all through the show, I don't think it's possible to be diabetic and not have a dietitian.
Yet a lot of diabetics don't have dietitians.
So who advise them on what to eat and how to eat?
So the brief discussion they have with their doctor is enough for them. The rest is they listen to friends and family. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And some of them wait till they have had serious complications. Very serious, okay? Very serious.
So how is Desua diet helping to address this problem?
Of course, we work with referrals. So when a doctor refers, then we are able to follow or do thorough assessments to know how your body reacts with every food item. Okay, we don't do a general one. So going back to this period of 30 days that you have to fast as a Muslim, that is if your doctor has approved. If you are supposed to work with a dietitian, then you will be guided on even how to break the fast and what to eat before, okay? There are fruits, of course. You cannot eat mango when you are going to break your fast, okay? You should eat the fruits that has the low GI, like the melon. And even if you are going for the melon, you go for you don't have to take that in isolation. You have to combine other vegetables to it.
I've learned a lot on the show today, and I thought I knew, but I didn't know, right? Yeah. So maybe we should do this again next week. Okay. Maybe obesity and fasting.
Okay.
And try and juxtapose a few of the, But thank you so much for your time today.
Are we done already?
You know, we are. My director says so. I have so many more questions for you, but apparently we have to go. Okay. So we'll continue this next week.
Okay.
All right. So guys, that's all time will allow us for our conversation with Enna on fasting, diabetes, all you should know. Really, really serious issues. I mean, one thing she said that caught my attention is that a lot of diabetic patients don't actually have the luxury of having the services of dietitians to help them plan their meals. And for me, that's quite worrying. We'll be following up on this conversation subsequently on other editions of the show. We'll take a quick break when